The beautiful summer spring days have come upon us as the calendar has turned to March. St. Patrick's eyes have passed, but baseball is on our minds tonight as the 2026 baseball season commences in less than a few hours. But a tradition unlike any other on this podcast network, it is the 2026 edition of the MLB Preview Show right here on the All Andy Alfred Podcast Network. As you are watching and listening to a special edition of the show tonight right here on the All Andy Alfred Podcast Network, whether it be on Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Bleaker, however you listen to us, wherever and whenever you listen to us. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, as well as watching us on YouTube on the All Andy Alfred Hangout channel as well. I can't believe that baseball has come, and I can't wait to talk to these two gentlemen that are on your screen right now to dive into this baseball season. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome in my guest at this time on the All Andy Alfred, of course, Mr. Lucas Sigerson, of course, and the one, the only, Robert Logie Bear Carr, joining me on the All Andy Alfred podcast.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, Logan, that's quite the intro.
Yeah, whoa.
Gentlemen, good evening.
What's
How
going
are we
on,
doing?
Andy?
Are we ready for baseball?
I am ready.
We're born ready.
It's been a heck of a winter here in Cleveland, so I've been counting down the days to opening day.
You know, snow is past. You know, the grills are going to be fired up. A nice hot dog and a nice cold beer sounds fantastic. But, of course, you know, we got a lot to get into tonight. Of course, you'll hear our predictions for this upcoming season for from all three of us here in this. I'm not calling this the round table. I'm calling this the triangle, because each one of us has a good point to make tonight. So usually we do this as a round table discussion.
Look at you.
It's a triangle. So all three of us have a true point, and that is to give you the best baseball coverage to get you ready for opening day, which is less than a few hours away, of course. And, you know, with Major League Baseball right around the corner with less than a few hours till, we have to recap what happened last year. You know, last year was...
Do we?
What's that?
Do we?
Well, I mean, we saw something very, very interesting last year. Of course, we saw the first World Series in a long time, and especially in our generation, where it was Canada versus the United States in the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And, you know, of course, the Dodgers, Dodgers being Dodgers. We're a baseball world, and we're just living in it, basically. So, Lucas, how did you feel about the whole 2025 season and with the Dodgers winning the World Series? I'll lead off with you.
I mean, obviously the end of my 2025 season left quite a sour taste in my mouth with how the Phillies succumbed to the Dodgers at the hands of Ryan Kerkering. I mean, obviously, like I'm sure we all share the same sentiments about the Dodgers. I mean, they know how to do it. You know, they have the money to spend, and they just have this crazy ability to not only spend money and acquire great talent, but to develop great talent. And like, they're a machine, and, you know, back-to-back World Series, obviously, like, their accolades speak for themselves. The playoffs, you have Roki Sasaki, like, serving as your de facto closer, coming out throwing 95 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how do you beat that, you know? As a Phillies fan, you know, just such a great season. You see Kyle Schwarber eclipse 60 home runs. It's just like kind of a storybook season, and then again, just the same. You know, the playoffs. Each of the last, I think, 4 seasons, they've won less playoff games. They've been eliminated sooner each of the last 4 years. So it's been a crazy, like, emotional roller coaster as a Phillies fan. But yeah, I mean, a lot happened last year. A lot of great storylines as well. Look at the Blue Jays, like the run they made, and like Troy Savage, like, came out of nowhere, just throwing absolute heat. The Guardians, the run that they went on, the Tigers, the collapse they felt,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of a lot, so many storylines coming from the season, but just
Logan,
excited for tomorrow, excited for opening day, or tonight.
Yeah, what's your feelings on the 2025 season, Logan?
Oh, I mean, a lot like Lucas, it ended about the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tigers, that terrible stretch to end the season where they nearly missed the playoffs after being up, I think it was, 16, 18 games, somewhere in there?
Yeah,
they were up 16 games in July, right?
Yeah, it very much mirrors how the Red Wings have been. Similar arc that the Tigers went on last year. Turned it around in the playoffs. Obviously, a great series against Cleveland, and just like one of the best playoff series, regardless of result, that I have ever seen with that Mariners series, including that extra inning game in Game 5 that we end up losing. But there's just, you can't be upset about that. That Tigers team did everything and then some that I expected out of them last season. Was really pulling for the Mariners after that. And then the Blue Jays, and obviously that didn't work out.
Yeah.
I feel like we're unfortunately falling into a bit of a cycle here that's I don't see an end in sight for it.
Were the Blue Jays up 2-0 in the World Series? Am I imagining that?
Gosh. I feel like they did have control.
Yeah. I
know they were at least up 2-1 in the series. I don't know. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, you're fine. Good. I can double check it for you.
Pretty good. Toronto was up 1-0 and 3-2.
Yeah.
Oh, they're okay. They're up 3-2, and then LA went
to Game 7.
Yeah, and then Game 7 obviously was 5-4.
Yep. Yeah, and they had and like I said, the Mariners had a great season last year with getting 90 wins out of that division, and knocking out the Houston Astros in that round. But I look at last season, and you see the youth development growing in baseball. You have a team, you have a young team like the Red Sox get into the postseason last year. You had basically for me the shocking thing was the Reds last year getting into the postseason, getting with their unbelievable
the ceremonious one game.
Yeah, and they were just immediately destroyed by the Dodgers because they are absolutely manhandled by the Dodgers in that realm. But you see a lot of the youth movement continuing in baseball, and I was absolutely I love seeing that because it's not like the old guard. You're seeing these young players coming up and developing and growing this game and making it becoming a global game. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how 2026, hopefully 2026 this year will continue that movement even more, especially with we were talking off camera of all the stuff that is coming into this year with new managers and younger players and rookies making their debut. I mean, I am ecstatic for what this season's going to be.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of momentum in baseball right now. A lot of youth, like we were talking, like the injection of youth. You have young clubs. Like, I mean, I am obsessed with what the Athletics are doing. It's so crazy to see the Athletics, the perennial like dumpster fire, selling off everybody. Like, they're paying all of their young guys, and they are loaded.
Yes,
Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Lawrence Butler, Shea Langoliers, like they're paying all of them. And when they traded Mason Miller last year, They got DeVries from the Padres. He's coming up. Like he'll probably make his debut this year. Like he's another stud infielder. Like yeah, there's a lot of youth, a lot of energy around the sport. There's a lot of money being spent in the sport.
Oh yeah.
I know we'll get into it, but you know, I cannot think of a worse time for a potential lockout to come to be after this coming season.
Yeah,
Just with all the momentum, the changes they made to try to speed the game up, to kind of help pull in like younger audiences. Yeah, there's so much momentum brewing for the sport. I mean, the World Baseball Classic, like that was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I have some thoughts on that too. I'd love to see that take place like mid-season, kind of like the
what hockey does with the Four Nations.
yeah, the Four Nations. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, just so much momentum in baseball that I really hope that they can solve before a.
I have an interesting stat, gentlemen. This past season in baseball, in 2025, there was no hitter at all in 2025.
Really?
It's the first. Yeah, no hitters took place.
Are you sure?
I am sure of it.
Really?
Yeah, no hitter took place in 2025. It was the first time in 20 years. You have to go back to 2005 was the last time that Major League Baseball had no hitters in over 20 years, which is surprising. So that means we were talking about this last year about what's going to be better. And you know what? We're going to get in. We'll get deeper into it, of course. Yeah.
Well, on September 6, 2025, Yoshinobu Yamamoto made it till 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Exactly.
I remember that one.
That's the closest.
So that means no hitters took place in 2025.
That's wild.
So, you know, Lucas touched on it, and I know we'll get into the World Baseball Classic, but he touched on it. I want to get right into it, of course. And it is the pot that is burning in the back of the stove right now, and that is what's going to happen. Could happen at the end of this season. And that is the labor negotiations. It is totally a mess right now. There's not a single. They're basically on two different wavelengths when it comes to this labor negotiation. And I know we're going into some of the detailed finances and everything like that of this, but this is gonna, if this happens, that we get a lockout, and it turns into this with all the momentum that this is building for baseball. I'm going to be honest with you, gentlemen. I don't see baseball coming back like to what the prominence that it is at now if it happens, because you've got all this momentum with the World Baseball Classic. You've had, like I said, the games in the World Series brought in 37.5 million viewers in the United States, in Canada, and over 64.1 million worldwide. Most of that because of Shohei Ohtani in Japan. All these people, and like I said, it's a global game. And to have that momentum going and it just being abruptly ended after the end of this season, I don't see how baseball can recover from anything like that if that becomes the case. So I asked you, Logan. I'll start with you, Logan. What is your feelings on the contract negotiations, and what do you feel the same way that I do, that if this momentum ends because of this contract negotiations, do you think that baseball will recover from this?
Well, it'll definitely recover. It's just a question of how long the lockout would be. The majority of what this is about is the salary cap, correct? They want to apply a salary cap, and ownership wants a salary cap. Basically, anybody not the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets, those three. I think that a salary cap would not be the worst idea. Make it more of a fair market. However, yes, to kill the momentum that has been building up for a couple years here, where it seems like baseball is as relevant as it has ever been, especially amongst the youth.
Mm-hmm.
And with the youth movement that baseball has been experiencing, uh, especially with how great the young pitching talent has been. That's the main focus. Um, I don't see that a lockout would hurt too much. It's just, I mean, it does leave too many questions about post lockout. What does how different does baseball look?
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a lot of infighting, and I imagine that PR wise, it's going to get kind of ugly.
Yeah.
That's what I would foresee, and that's just how much does that taint public perspective, right? That's what we're really looking at here. It's unfortunate timing. There's no way to skirt around that.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's on like I said, it's on the back burner with all this great momentum that baseball has, and we're going to be seeing this coming up because, like I said, we start the season tonight and tomorrow, and then in the blink of an eye, the season's done, and we're going to have to face this in front of us. So, Lucas, your feelings on this?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's all avoided.
Yeah.
The argument is like salary cap, salary floor. I think with salary cap, I don't know. I'm not too privy on the language, like what the specifics are behind it all. But I would imagine there would be loopholes that, I mean, you look at like what the Dodgers were able to do with deferring money. Other clubs are doing it now too. Like the Phillies just re-signed; they gave a new contract to Christopher Sanchez, and like I think $20 million is deferred until 2044. I think the Guardians, they deferred some of Jose Ramirez's new contract they gave him.
Detroit did that with Justin Verlander. So Verlander's only going to get I think it was $2 million this year, and then in 2 years he's going to get like $11.8 million. So it's or whatever the amount is. So they're deferring that money for 2 years out. So.
I think what's egregious, like look at what the Dodgers did with Ohtani. Like he has a base salary of like $1 million, like $40 million a year deferred in like 2042 or whatever it is. Like there are like scenarios like that. They're just like so like above and beyond what many of the smaller market teams are able to do. I'm sure there would be loopholes with the salary cap. Salary floor, like I mean, I don't think it's the worst idea. Like if you own a baseball team, like all these owners have money, and I look at the here in Cleveland, like the Guardians, like okay, yeah, they awarded Jose with the new contract, but really I don't see them spending around him, spending money to build around him. They didn't sign a single free agent. They brought in Rhys Hoskins, my boy Rhys Hoskins, which I'm actually really excited about that he made the opening day roster. But they didn't spend any money to acquire. There's so many young teams that are rebuilding that aren't really spending a whole lot of money. But like the White Sox, they signed from Japan is he third baseman? I'm drawing a blank on his name. But like the Angels are not spending money. The Rays never spend money. Like I don't know. I think there's a big. I mean, the teams that spend the big money are, of course. The Mets missed the playoffs, so maybe that's kind of failed logic. But the teams that spend big money are generally in or around the top of the standings. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just go back to what I was saying earlier. I think there's so much momentum in the sport right now that I'd hate to see it halted by a potential lockout. And honestly, for me personally, like like pitchers and catchers reporting is what like pulls me through the winter months. Like I love hockey, but I really love my baseball, and I just look forward to the weather breaking and pitchers and catchers reporting in Clearwater, and Arizona, and Yeah.
You're
So
thinking of the first baseman from the White Sox is Taka
Murakami.
Murakami. That's who it is. That's who it is.
Yeah, that
Say
was
that.
like I did not envision,
I did not see that
but he
coming.
got far less than what he was projected to get.
Yeah.
But still,
He's their first. He's a first baseman. He's their first everyday first baseman going forward for the White Sox. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out. And he had a big game. He hit that grand slam against the Czechs in the World Baseball Classic, which was basically
he's got power. For sure.
welcome to Major League Baseball and welcome to welcome to the eyes of the world are now on you with the amount of talent that they that he has. So
speaking of welcome to Major League Baseball, what do you guys think of Kevin McGonigal making the roster?
I like this. I like this kid. He's hitting the cover off the ball. I enjoyed watching him play in spring training games. I will give you this. I don't like where they're gonna slot him for I don't like. I think he should be a leadoff hitter. Honestly, he's got the stick and he's got the speed. Why not just why I don't know why Hitch wants to put him in like the 6-7 hole where he should be in the 1-2 slot.
You can't put him there yet.
Yeah, I mean lineups change by the day. But
Yeah.
I think putting him like 6-7, you're kind of hiding him a little bit. Like there's a lot of pressure on him. Like number 2 prospect in baseball. Obviously he's the future everyday leadoff hitter for the Tigers, and I'm sure that will come sooner rather than later. But like, hey kid, you're skipping AAA. We're starting in the big leagues. Opening day, you're leading off. Like, I mean, I know he's going to be Superman, but I just think like there's something to be said about. Okay, let's let you get your feet wet for a little bit before we throw you lead off.
Right.
But I give the Tigers a lot of credit for making this move. You look a couple hours away in Pittsburgh, Connor Griffin. Like I really think he should be starting in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And service time manipulation. It's kind of the name of the game. So I really credit the Tigers for like going a different direction there. And really, I think they see it as like, you know what, this is probably our last year with Tariq Skubal.
Yeah.
And we're going to like try like hell. We're going to give it all we got. We're going to field the best possible lineup. And they have a lot of youth that that has come up in their system. Like I really like what the Tigers are doing.
What got me a little bit though too, and I'll let Logan talk more about the Tigers here in just a second. But what got me though is that Parker Meadows makes the opening day roster. When you have a young kid that was fantastic last year with the Tigers, and he gets demoted back to AAA, and you give Parker Meadows the opportunity. I don't know where and he was not hitting. Meadows was not hitting the cover off the ball in spring training.
No, but he's an excellent defensive player. That's why he was on the roster. And they took. I mean, when you really look at it, they took Johnny Jones over Winsell Perez.
Yeah,
it wasn't Parker Meadows instead of Perez. It was Johnny Jones, and I think you could still make an argument that Perez should have made the roster.
Yeah.
And I would too, especially after they traded Justin Henry Malloy to Tampa Bay. I thought for certain that was a given. So I'm a little shocked that Jones made the roster.
Yeah,
over him. And I'm equally as shocked that they didn't go for the splash move of calling Max Clark up as well.
Yeah.
Instead of Jones or instead of Mark Meadows.
Yeah,
Mr. Goldchain.
He was wearing silver in the Mud Hens press release today.
Yeah, silver.
Yeah, he better be good with wearing all those chains, man.
Yeah, I
Good
think
Lord.
I don't think he did himself any favor. I mean, he did put out a statement, acknowledging. But I think like there was a little more of it was kind of like an off-field distraction with him in spring training.
Mm-hmm.
Where McGonigal just like put his head down and is doing the work,
Yeah.
I mean, McGonagall's at bats are very professional at bats. Drawing walks and.
Yeah.
But
And
again, I credit the Tigers.
Like when he stepped into the plate for every at bat that I saw him, and even this last series before they broke to camp, before they went to San Diego, they played the Rockies. I got a chance to watch that game
last night.
Yeah, well, not last night, but Monday night. It was Monday night that they were playing, and they had it on television. I got a chance to finally, it was basically the dress rehearsal. They had the roster set, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, let me see what he looks like, and then like I said, down to earth, professional style, and I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the Tigers this year. But what got me too this year is that what Lucas was saying, that they were going all in. You look at the rotation that Detroit's got this year. I mean, like you said, this is probably Scooble's last year.
I disagree, but go on.
Well, then go. Why do you think? Do you think that Illich just will fork out the money?
I don't see how you can continue ownership of a Detroit franchise without re-signing Scooble. I really don't. It would be quite possibly the worst move in Detroit history to let him walk. He's on the verge, and I would say is the odds-on favorite to win back-to-back-to-back Cy Young. Yeah. You can't let that guy walk. It'd be like if the Chiefs let Mahomes walk at the end of his first contract, right?
Yeah.
You can't.
Can you really envision them shelling out $440 million though?
The only precedent is the Cabrera contract.
What was that contract?
Was it 10 years? I mean, at the time it was ridiculous. It was like 10 years, 250.
Yeah.
And the Bias contract is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're.
Go ahead.
And they got Baez post prime.
8-year, 248
for Miggy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I give him 400. Give him a blank check. I mean, come on. Especially if the Tigers make a run again this year. If they make a deeper run, you'd be hard pressed not re-signing School. I mean, they just spent
how old
big
is
money
he?
on Framber Valdez. I'm gonna say Scooble's 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 29.
29. I mean, but
how many years would he get?
You're going to have Scooble, Flamer Valdez, which was a big shock to me that they could pull the trigger on that. You bring back Verlander. You've got Jack Flaherty, and you got Casey Mize.
What version of Jack Flaherty are you going to get? Who knows? But yeah. That's intimidating.
I mean, yeah, signing Framber Valdez, like that's a huge. Like now you have a bona fide number 2, like to slide in right behind Scooble. It honestly protects Scooble too. It kind of protects the rotation,
especially not having Reese and I think for the full year.
Yeah, he's out all year, I think,
which is terrible because he would be probably realistically be your 3.
Yeah, he would be the 3. Honestly, the 3. He'd be honestly at the 3. So I mean,
Job as well.
Yeah,
is on edge. He's starting on IR too. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what
you guys both took him to win Rookie of the Year last year. Jackson Jobe.
Yeah. How'd that go? How'd that go?
He wasn't bad. He just got injured.
Yeah, he just got injured. That's the thing. To dive more, the precursor with spring training going on, of course, we had the World Baseball Classic that took place. Of course, the United States getting into the championship game. I mean, the whole tournament itself is fantastic to see. And, Lucas brought up a point about it that he'd like to see it in the midpoint of the season, similar to what the NHL Four Nations did last year. But, gentlemen, I look at it this way. It is a great tournament, but for me, I look at this as like this is a precursor to in 2 years, 2028, LA, the Olympics. You've got baseball is back, so is softball. You're going to have these games, and the World Baseball Classic was basically a preview of what you're going to look what these rosters and these countries teams are going to look like. In about 2 years, you're going to add more players. Of course, you're going to lose players. Like we saw the end of Clayton Kershaw because he made the Team USA team, but we didn't see much of him. He was sitting out there in the bullpen ordering beers on DoorDash. But that was that. It's I look for my stance has changed a little bit about the World Baseball Classic. I do like Lucas's idea though of it being in the midpoint of the season, because we saw last year in the All-Star game that we go to extra innings and then it turns into a swing off. And I'm looking at this. Didn't I just see that the night before in the home run derby? Why do I need to see it? And then we find out later on that if it becomes of it, the manager's discretion in the All-Star game has the manager's discretion of picking the players. So, we didn't see Ohtani hit. We didn't see Judge hit. They were already at the hotel having a 3-course meal. And you had your boy, Schwarber, come up to the plate, go 3 for 3, and win it for the National League. So I'm in agreement with Lucas. I think if you did something like what the NHL did with 4 nations, and you put it in, I would say you put it in the middle part of the season, make it be a 2-week tournament, that would probably work best for me. But that's just me. What was your thinking, Lucas?
Yeah, I think it's all comes down to player health and player preparation for the regular season. I mean, obviously, like a lot of teams, like pitchers, like clubs didn't really want pitchers to go to pitch in the World Baseball Classic. I mean, Scooble pitches 1 game. How is if it's in the middle of the season, like you kind of have time to prepare for that. Like it seemed like he wanted to stick around and pitch another game for Team USA, but Agent and Tigers kind of decided not to proceed with that. I just think like players are maybe a little timid. I mean, more so in the pitchers, but just preparation for a long season. I just don't think it's the optimal time. Guys leaving spring training to go, participate. And I don't know. It just seemed like maybe there was a little bit of like hesitance, or not hesitancy, but just like, just like underlying fear, like not wanting to get injured or overexert yourself before the season begins.
For me, it's just like that. You go to the Scooble situation. He pitches 1 game, but you still have Paul Skeens going out there and just throwing it and just dominating for the United States. But I can understand where that is. But you're also, like you were just mentioning, if you have it in the middle of the season, you're already seeing a lot of these guys already, and you're already basically warmed up. I understand that you're just coming off of just your first 3 or 4 weeks of spring training, and then you're leaving your organization to go play for your country, and that's the big thing. A lot of these guys want to play for their country. You saw that with the Venezuelan team doing that. They were playing for their country. And Eugenio Suarez, coming up with that big at bat, in the 9th inning, and capitalizing on that, will that momentum for him continue when he's now with the Reds? I don't know, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So yeah, it'll be. I look forward to seeing what's going to go forward, but we get into now. We have to talk about it really quickly. With the start of the 2026 season, we're seeing a new rule change, and I know a lot of us have dealt with it, of course, and we're talking about ABS. We saw it in this past All-Star game with the testing, and Scooble got to do it. Got to do the test, and it worked. And now you're seeing ABS in spring training. You're going to see it tonight. You're going to see it throughout the season. But a lot of us, like yours truly and Lucas and Logan, we've all seen it already in the minor league system, and it's worked in the minor league system. And now we're going to see it take full in Major League Baseball. So I'll start with Lucas. How do you feel about ABS coming into the system?
Yeah, I mean, I think as many people feel, I love the Americana, the classic components of baseball, and to me that it seems like one step closer to just eliminating umpires altogether. That might seem like a drastic, theory, but I really don't want that. I mean, I'm interested to see kind of how it takes shape. I mean, a couple years ago, I wasn't a fan of the pitch clock. Like, I didn't like the idea of the pitch clock, just because, like, it just speeds the game up. The game flies by. I know that's kind of, I mean, people kind of want that. They want to go by a little quicker. But I wasn't real excited about it, but I kind of got used to it. So I'm sure it'll probably be the same experience with the ABS, but it'll be interesting to see how pitchers and catchers, like, how they handle it, hitters too. But yeah, I don't know. It's another effort to kind of modernize the game that, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't distract too much from the heart of American baseball.
True. Logan, your feeling on ABS?
Yeah, they've had a at the AAA level Mud Hens for a few years here, and I haven't noticed anything that's messing up the pace. I think there's going to be some, like, a learning curve to it early on, where there's probably going to be a lot of challenges, and then it'll kind of taper off. Like Lucas said, I don't want this to be the end of actual, like, physical umpires out there. I think that would be a real travesty if we lost that part of the game.
Yeah, it's like it's the human error that I love, and like each umpire is unique. And then honestly, if you get rid of ABS or if you get rid of umpires, like, there's no more arguing. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're just taking away, like, the things about baseball that just make it what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you don't lose in my opinion, I like ABS, but I agree with you. You can't lose the human element of baseball with an umpire behind the plate and the umpire out on the field, because you still have to have an umpire, whether they're calling a foul ball or a fair ball down the line. I mean, I don't think we will see it in our lifetime, possibly, that they'll put a laser or a tracker in the baseball, and if it goes past the line, it's an automatic foul or a fair. I mean, I don't see that happening in my lifetime, because there's still that human element, like you mentioned, Lucas, that still needs to happen in baseball, because it's just the way it is. But they were.
You see, I wouldn't be so certain about that, because NFL just put trackers in the football, so I don't think that technology is too far off for baseball. However, the key difference there being that NFL typically does not want you to keep the football. Baseball, if you're putting that expensive technology, that's what's going to keep them from doing it.
Yeah,
it would just be too expensive to lose baseballs that have, like, trackers in them.
And how many baseballs are you going to be losing because of that too? Because the amount of foul balls and the amount of balls that are going to be scuffed up and not be able to be played. And I just don't see that happening.
It wouldn't make sense
next
monetarily.
It might be later on in my lifetime that might happen, but I just don't see it happening right now.
Yeah, you're more likely to have, like, a camera that's on top of the ridiculous netting that covers all the outfield, and, like, you've already gone that far, having net that covers the entire outfield, right?
Yeah.
Why not put a camera that faces down from that net and shows you if it's a foul ball or not?
True.
But if they're going to do that, why not, right?
I mean, why not? But, and for me, when they put the netting all the way around, it basically ruined the element for fans to interact with the players that are on the field at the same time.
Sure.
I mean, you can't. I know COVID did a lot of that, killed a lot of that opportunity to like meet the players and get an autograph and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, it'd be better to so it's not you're not looking at a black netting in front of you and you're thinking, oh, you're safe and everything like that. But you're basically taking yourself out of the game and you're just basically watching it like you're watching it at home or watching it on television.
Mm-hmm.
So
now we're entering the old man yells at cloud part of the part of the podcast.
With the right raising in the air. I mean, that's how I mean, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see, and I going to the ABS really keep going in the ABS really quickly. I saw a stat that 60% of the challenges have been done by catchers than by the pitchers or the hitters. So the catchers know where that ball is being placed. So I'm just going to put that little nugget out there. So it's up to the catcher to see where the ball's actually going to be placed and if it's a right call or a wrong call at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how this season comes across. And like I said, the momentum is building with baseball, and we hope that 2026 isn't the final year that we we are looking at the movement that is happening in baseball as we go forward. That's the thing. And we have a lot of good storylines this year, of course. You have, like we mentioned before, the Tigers, of course, and their big moves. The Dodgers, of course, with what will they look like this year? You have an interesting race happening right now in the National League East. I will talk about that with Lucas here because you're going to have a fully healthy Braves team now. You're going to have a Mets team that's going to be fully healthy. The Phillies are going to be good. The only question marks I have is of those three teams, who's going to be slugging each other out basically, and who's going to be knocking each other around. That's the thing.
I'll tell you.
You'll tell me?
Unbiasedly, I'm sure.
Unbiasedly, I'm sure. But so you are watching and listening to a special edition of All Indy Over, the 2026 MLB preview edition of the podcast right here. And, we covered everything what the 2026 is going to be talking about, ABS, the expectations. We talked about the World Baseball Classic, the labor problems that's going to be happening at this next year. Anything else that you gentlemen want to discuss before in the words of me, shit hits the fan and we figure out what everybody's doing? So, anybody have anything else?
I say we roll right into it.
Okay, let's roll right into it. It's time for our predictions for the 2026 MLB baseball season. And this is going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. We're going to start first and foremost. We're going to go into each league, the American League and the National League, and we'll give our takes on our predictions on where everything falls. And we'll first and foremost start off with the reigning, defending champions in the West, which is the NL. We'll start with the NL first. NL West. And we're going to start first. I think most of us are in consideration that we think that the Dodgers are going to repeat as champions in the West. Am I all in the all realm of that? Is it all correct on that?
Yeah, in the division, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much doubt there.
Probably looking at set at 102.5.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying somewhere between 98 and 106 wins, probably.
So, yeah,
just nuts.
Let's I like to do that. We like to do that every year here. So I do have it up, and I do have the over-unders for this season. Right now, the Dodgers are set at 103.5. Is that going to be over or under? I'll start with you, Logan.
I'll go over, unfortunately. They had Kyle Tucker, right? They find a way to get better after winning back-to-back World Series.
And Edwin Diaz.
Yes, and Edwin Diaz.
And eventually they'll have Scooble, they'll have Skeens.
They'll have one of them. They might have both of them. I mean, name any athletics player that's young right now, and you would think they probably. I mean,
Well,
might
luckily
as well
they're
have
all
Brett-
signed. They're all
Yeah.
signed long term.
I mean, I might be showing my hands here, but like Byron Buxton, right? Like, so if the Twins start off mediocre again, like, don't you think that'd be a Dodger type player?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
Anybody is in their grass, and it's just.
And what they'll do, they'll trade for Byron Buxton, and then so Teoscar Hernandez won't even like play during the regular season, and then he'll suddenly like start in the playoffs and just hit 8 home runs or something. It's just inevitable.
I mean, I have the Dodgers over to at 103.5. I think that's about the right number.
I mean, Will Smith is going to be hitting like seventh in their lineup.
Yes,
So
they have an all-star lineup. They have the NL all-star lineup.
Andy Pages hitting ninth. He's going to have 32 home runs this season.
So I'll start with Logan. Of course, we have, like you said, you have the Dodgers winning. But after the Dodgers, where else do you see? Who else is in your 5? Where does your 5 stand?
Oh, in the NL West?
You're in the NL West.
I got Dodgers. I'm skeptical of this one the more I talk to myself about it. The Padres, right? Their entire pitching staff is injured, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Just like absolute like doctor's office going on in there.
Yes. It's a mass unit basically going on there.
Yeah, so it's going to fall on. Okay, they added. Who did they add over the season?
Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, Nick Castellanos. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna all fall on Tatis.
Mm-hmm.
You have an aging Machado, and if this is the year Jackson Merrill can figure it out and be an all-star caliber player, I think they could find themselves in the mid-80s in terms of wins. So I've bounced back and forth. Padres, Giants, D-backs. D-backs having the same injury issues in their rotation. I don't. They added Nolan Arenado and Carlos Santana, who 42 years old.
Right.
Be that as it may. They still have Corbin Burns, right?
Yep.
Man, the NL West is interesting. Outside, you can chalk the Rockies in last place. Rinse, wash, repeat there.
Yeah.
That might be the worst team in the league again.
Yeah.
It would hate to be in the Denver market where you have.
They brought in the Browns guy, D Podesta.
Thank God they did. Thank God that they did. D Podesta, man, like, all right, maybe Moneyball works for the Rockies, but it was the analytic shit was not working for the Browns. They got bigger problems, but one less with D Podesta at the door. Yeah. Rockies in last, Dodgers in first. I can say that with almost 100% certainty.
And then it's just a toss up between 2,
Yeah,
3,
man.
4.
That race is going to be great. The D-backs also find not so much their rotation, but their actual lineup. Gurriel Jr., I think he's out maybe the first month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Perdomo was hurt part of last year. They lose Christian Walker, and they add Nolan Arenado, Carlos Santana, Blaze Alexander, full season.
It amazed me. Perdomo finished, I think, 3rd or 4th in MVP voting.
Man, Perdomo is so good. Perdomo is really, really good. But that D-backs team has struggled to stay healthy and be consistent for the last few years here. They have the talent, obviously with Corbin Carroll, who's top 10 player in the game probably by the end of the year. And yeah, the NL West is honestly, once you get past the obvious, there's 3 teams there that could be really competitive and push for wild card spots.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that.
So I'm not going to give you a straight answer is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you.
2, 3, 4 question mark.
Yeah.
Any combination of those, I would believe. All in the 84 to 88 range, right? Like they could be all neck and neck, down to the point of maybe being tied, having to play a tiebreaker for the wild card too.
That could possibly happen too. If you don't mind, Lucas, I'll go. I got the Dodgers winning the division. I think they're the best. They're the best team in the National League. I think you you have a full year now with Rafael Devers. You've got you've got some decent play. With I think the Giants this year are going to be a little bit of a shock for a lot of people. I started researching the Giants a little bit more when the Super Bowl was happening because I like listening to Dan Patrick, and they were out front of Oracle Park, and they were bringing in all the Giants representatives and everything like that. They were talking highly about them, and I watched a couple of their games during spring training, and I was saying to myself, this team could do something this year. So I have the Giants as second, and then I have the Padres third, Arizona fourth, and of course the Rockies are just the Rockies. They're set right now. Their over under is at 53.5.
Oof.
53.5. And I think that's an under if it could go even lower than 53.5.
The Nuggets are going to win more games than they played 80 less games.
Hell, the Avalanche are going to have more wins than the Rockies.
No shit.
Yeah.
And hell, Denver made the AFC champ. Imagine being that is such a weird market to be in because it's like you have three really successful franchises, and then you have the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah. Lucas, what do you have for your NOS?
Well, I'm terrified because you and I are in the same boat, Andy. Usually that doesn't go well. Dodgers, Giants again. Just adding Tony Vitello. I think he's going to be great.
Right.
And a full season of Rafi Devers in the Bay Area. I think. I think just the right youthful movement a little bit, high energy. I think Vitello's really going to just. I think the clubhouse is. I think the culture there is going to be awesome. And then Padres third, Diamondbacks fourth, Rockies fifth. But honestly, like Logan was saying, that 2-3-4, I would not be surprised either way. However those three shape out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how. But for 2, 3, 4, I mean, it could be like you said, Logan. It could be one of those teams where you could be playing for a wild card spot before you play in the wild card games. This whole situation. So it will be interesting. It will be interesting going forward. So let's continue on the West. We'll go to the American League West. Of course, you have for me. I'll go first here. I think last year Cal Riley did a fantastic job.
Big dumper.
The big dumper. He willed that team, and how they performed in the postseason. I think we have a new Houston Astros now in that division, and that is the Seattle Mariners. I think the Mariners are for real. I think they have invested a lot of money going into this upcoming season. I'm hoping that we don't have a step back for Cal Riley this upcoming year, but I think Seattle wins the division. I think Sacramento falls in second place. I like what Lucas was saying earlier. The the movement there. I think that they're taking the step forward, and they're gonna take the step forward and get into. They're set right now, over under wise at 75.5 wins. I would bump that. I bump
The
that
Athletics
higher.
are?
I think so.
75 seems criminally low.
75.5 right now. It was 75.5.
That's free money. Not a gambler. Hashtag not a gambler, but free money.
Yeah. So I have Seattle, Sacramento, I have Houston, I have Texas, and then I have the Angels. And I honestly am going to say this, gentlemen. I think we might be seeing the end of Mike Trout in Los Angeles. I think the Angels are going to have to deal with it.
Oh, that's music to Lucas's ears over there.
Yeah. And the one guy
There's
that,
only
There's
one
only one place
destination that
he's
makes
going.
sense. Yeah.
I mean, the
Bring him
Angels
on
have
over.
been-
The rest of our lineup is over 30. Might as well add him too.
you might as well add him. Might as well add him. I mean, but
Oh no, might as well have the best player in our lifetime. Like, come back cleanup.
yeah.
Oh
I
no.
mean, but that's where
I mean, literally, I'm begging. Like anybody but Alec Bowman clean up. That is the most egregious decision ever.
yeah.
I am
Bryce
so
Harper
tired of
batting
Alec Bowman.
3, followed by Mike Trout, or Schwarber, Harper, Mike Trout back to back to back in a lineup would be pretty terrifying, regardless of what year it is.
I mean, and you look at it, the Angels, their over under right now is set at 70.5 wins.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's not great.
And they have a lame duck manager in Kurt Suzuki. Perry Minasian's probably going to be the first executive fired.
Yep.
It's just a terribly run franchise.
Yeah.
Hold up. They're projecting Jorge Soler in the year 2026 to be cleanup.
Yes.
Oh my God. What are we doing?
Yes. That tells you how bad this franchise is.
This is the year Joe Adele figures it out, though,
Yeah.
as I've been saying since 2018. Oh, Josh Lowe. This is terrible, man. What are they doing?
This roster is just absolutely disgusting.
Yuan Makata.
That's where Makata was. I was about ready to say, where did Makata go? But yeah, I just don't see. So like at Seattle, Sacramento, Houston, Texas, and LA.
35-year-old Adam Frazier at second base.
Yep.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Yeah. Travis DeArnett, he's 37.
Right.
I love Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah, I do too. Logan O'Hoppe's very good.
Mm-hmm.
They do have, I mean, Chanel, is that how you pronounce it? Their first baseman's nice.
Nolan. Yeah, Nolan.
Chanel?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
I got Jamer Candelario though.
And Travis DeArnett, 37 years old. This is, looking through this roster is depressing. What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Anthony Rendon's still on the roster. Wow. They'll probably
Yep.
still be paying him for another 10 years, too.
And they lost Otani for nothing.
Yeah, I lost. Absolutely. So, Lucas, your prediction on the American League West?
Yeah. Mariners. I mean, Cal Raleigh, like, he's not going to do it again, but what a season.
Man, yeah.
J-Rod is still, he's just has MVP upside. The Rangers, I like the Rangers. Honestly, like Rangers, Astros, I think they're kind of neck and neck. Athletics, I really want to put them above the Rangers and Astros, but I would I be completely shocked? No. They're like my favorite young team to watch, but I don't know. Like I have written down Mariners, Rangers, Astros, Athletics, Angels.
Speaking of Texas Rangers, 40-year-old Andrew McCutchen.
He made the roster.
Yeah.
Wow. Made the roster. Unbelievable. Can't believe that.
Gashioka, 36-year-old. He was a Yankee, like longtime Yankee, right?
Yep. Long time Yankee. All right, Logan. What is your prediction for the American League West?
Oh, well, this is where I start making this interesting.
Oh.
That's where I put. This is where I'm going to go out on a limb. I think that the team with the most momentum in that division is not actually the Mariners. I think it is the Athletics. So I'm making the shock pick and putting the Athletics to finish first place.
Whoa.
Damn! Whoa!
I'm expecting, after the last year that Nick Kurtz had, I'm expecting an MVP caliber season from him. I think that their youth movement is unlike any other team right now. These are guys that I also personally had watched as Lansing Lugnuts, so it is personal. Tyler Soderstrom and the other Max Muncy. They traded for Jeff McNeil, which is a great pickup. I kind of went under the radar. They also picked up Andy Ibanez,
Yeah.
which is also a great bench piece. I I really like their roster. Severino, Springs, a young stud, Luis Morales. They got Savali and Jacob Lopez on the rotation. I consistency and staying healthy. I think the Athletics win, but it's going to be close. I had the Mariners in second. I expect them to carry on from the momentum they had last year. I obviously don't expect a 60 home run season from Cal Raleigh. In fact, I don't think we will ever see that, even remotely close, that type of season from a catcher ever again.
Right.
But they, all the same pieces in place. They're keeping Josh Naylor, J. Rod still. That team's loaded and should be a favorite. I just think that the Athletics kind of edge them out by 1 or 2 games. And then I'm going to put Astros at 3. You got Carlos Correa coming back. Christian Walker, right? Re-signed there. They're on the older side now, right? Alvarez might be healthy for once to start the season. The Rangers, another team where I could find them anywhere in the 80s in terms of wins. And the Angels, we already covered that dumpster fire here a few minutes ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That terrible place to be in.
Honestly, man, I love the Athletics pick. It's like ballsy,
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere in the realm of reality. I know that it's ballsy, and I saw him play the Tigers a few games last year and played them really tight. And they're building the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely ethical baseball, not happening in other areas in California, both for very different reasons.
You can tell they're having fun. Like they enjoy playing together, and they're so young. Like they're growing up together. It's
and they're finally they're retaining their talent for maybe the first time in my entire life. Seeing the Athletics, it's totally abnormal for them. And the only thing that's upsetting is that they're not doing it for Oakland, right? They're doing it for, I guess, West Sacramento, wherever they are actually playing. They're playing in a minor league ballpark. Probably the most entertaining years this franchise has had since that 2013 team. Yeah. And they're going to be playing in a minor league ballpark. That's embarrassing. There's no way around that. But Vegas is going to be spoiled yet again. I am very envious of the fact that Vegas is going to have yet another team laid at their feet that is going to be very competitive and compete for championships right away.
Right.
Act like the Raiders don't exist in this reality that I'm talking about.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how. So I'm holding you to that, and like you said, free money basically with Sacramento being at 75.
75 is bad. That just seems criminal.
I'm gonna bet the over just for Logan.
Yeah, I would take that over for that, definitely. Definitely take the over with that. So yeah, you guys are watching and listening to All Andy Alfred right here, a special edition of All Andy Alfred with the 2026 MLB preview edition right here on the All Andy Alfred Podcast Network. So we go to the West, we'll go to the East, and we'll start with the American League East, where you have the American League champion Toronto Blue Jays coming off of their amazing season that they had last year. And do any one of you want to start with them, or do you want me to take it over? I'll take it over if you guys wanted. I think you're going to see 3 teams out of this division get into the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Toronto's going to continue the momentum. I think they continue the momentum this upcoming year. I think Guerrero, fantastic job last year. I think you get, the team that they had last year in the postseason. I think they're going to continue the momentum. They have a lot to play for now. Being beaten at home, Game 7. They had they had the Dodgers on the ropes, and then they
Twice.
blew it.
Yeah.
They blew it, and now they have that callous of them losing. I think that they get that momentum. I think they win the division. I have the Boston Red Sox in second. I think what the Red Sox did in the offseason, I think they're making strides in the right move.
Losing Bregman?
And with Bregman, Bregman, I think I think they can make the right steps. And I wanted to check.
What do you like? What do you like about their offseason? What's their best move?
Their best move. Oh my god, I had it up here on my thing here.
Ranger.
I had it on my ledger here.
They got Ranger Suarez, didn't they?
Yeah, they got Ranger Suarez, and he's good. And there's. I mean, of course, you've got Chapman there. You got Sonny Gray. Like I said, you got Ranger Suarez right there in the realm. I mean, you've got a Trevor Story that's a veteran there. You got a Caleb Durbin. You got Wilson Contreras. It's running in the infield there, and then you got the outfield of, you got Yoshida, Duran, Anthony, and and getting the toxicity of Xander of this kid. Oh my god! I just drew a blank. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Roman Anthony?
Roman Anthony, yeah.
You already said Anthony.
Yeah, I said Roman Anthony, but I'm talking
he's
about
a stud.
You're failing the class right now.
You got the toxicity out of everything. I think the Red
Got
Sox
the what?
mentioned
It's
here.
toxic.
Well, I'm not saying
Jared Durant's still on the team. That's the toxic one.
That's the toxic one.
I mean, he's the homophobic one.
Oh yeah. You know what? Never mind. Give me the Yankees finishing set. Judge. But here's the thing.
Can we just post this segment? Just skip the rest of the show. Just post this segment.
Hold on.
Alfred talks himself out of the Red Sox live.
Last year at this time, gentlemen. I talked highly about the Red Sox.
You talk highly about the Red Sox every year.
Oh yeah, I talked about the Red
including
Sox
3 minutes ago.
Yeah, but Blue Jays, Yankees. Yeah, really, right here. Blue Jays, Yankees. I like what the Orioles look like this year.
So the Red Sox are going from second to fifth now?
They're going to fourth. They're fourth.
Okay.
So I have Toronto, Yankees, Orioles, and I have the Orioles getting a postseason berth. They'll be the fifth seed.
So the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs?
The Red Sox are missing the playoffs now?
Yeah, the Red Sox are missing the playoffs. I told you that.
No, you didn't. You had them in second. And you said 3 teams from the division would be in the playoffs 2 minutes ago.
Toronto, the Yankees, and the Orioles.
Oh, God. All right.
Quite the revisionist
3
right
teams
now.
will make the postseason. I think. I like.
What do you like about the Orioles this year? Pete Alonso?
That's going to be a big key piece, and then you got Adley Rutschman there.
Who was awful last year.
Well,
He was pretty terrible.
Terrible last year, but he's
Hold
good.
up. Blaze Alexander got traded. When did that happen? I recant my Blaze Alexander statement. He is definitely batting 9th for the Orioles. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
They did trade Grayson Rodriguez to the Angels for nothing.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they got Chris Bassett on the pitching too.
It's true.
Local kid. You've got Alonso. You've got Gunnar Henderson there too.
Face of the franchise now, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Did you see
They're
those
hung up on the
jerseys they're
Red
rolling
Sox.
out?
Jackson Holiday on the IR to start the season.
True.
And
Kobe Mayo, though, had a breakout year last year.
But you got Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Beavers. I think that they could make a postseason run, and I think they won't make a deep run, but I think that they could be the third team out of that division to make the playoffs. And then I have the Red Sox, and I have Tampa Bay.
Shout out Dylan Beavers.
Shout out Dylan Beavers. And they got Tyler.
Career average 227 hitter.
Yeah.
-4.
Yeah. -4. So, Logan, where do you see the American League East?
Well, should I revise? Should I scribble out what I had here?
Well, go ahead, whatever you want to
write. I had the Blue Jays winning. So Blue Jays got they bid on Okamoto, right? Okamoto.
Yes. Don't quote me on it yet.
Yes.
And then they lose Bichette, which is that's a tough blow.
That was a tough one.
Should have been a Philly.
That's right. And Bregman should have gone to the Tigers, but who knows? Yeah, I like the Blue Jays. They didn't lose much. I mean, Bichette, that's tough, but as far as I recall, the Blue Jays have a pretty good farm system. The Red Sox, I have at 2, and I'm not going to move them from 2. They kept a lot of what they had last year. You're going to keep having Roman Anthony.
He's a stud. Roman Anthony.
He's going to be a superstar. It's unfortunate that he's in Boston, but it is undoubtedly he's going to be a superstar. He's got all the makings of one. We saw him for how many months last year? 2?
Yeah.
He didn't play all that much, right?
Didn't all that much.
Is it 70 games, something like that? Okay, so about 2.5 months. Yeah, full season him. I'd love to see what that results in. Like you said, Contreras, they moved him over to first, right? He's not a catcher anymore.
Correct.
Right. That seems to be a disturbing trend in baseball, doesn't it? We'll just start. I guess that started with Bryce playing first. Now you got the Tigers that might be playing Colt Keith at first.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, that's a side tangent.
That's a side
Yankees at 3. They re-signed Bellinger. Retained a lot of talent. I think we know what the Yankees are. I'll just, leave that out there. We saw a lot of the same from Aaron Judge and big-time at-bats in the World Baseball Classic, same way as it's been in the postseason. Enough said there. They're going to win 90 games. I think all 3 of those teams are going to be in the 90-93 range. It's going to be tight. I think the Orioles are somewhere in the low 80s. I think the Rays are also going to be somewhere in the low 80s. The Orioles, you're in the same boat as the Athletics. However, I'm just not as high on the Orioles. Pete Alonso has been consistent, and he will be a nice veteran bat amongst all the 20-year-olds that they have. So it'll be nice to have some stability in that lineup. Their pitching staff's still very good. And the Rays, I feel like we always get one of two versions of the Rays. They're either going to stink or they're going to be better than they should be, and they'll be winning 90 games, right? I mean, they're very much – them and the Guardians play a very unethical devil magic baseball.
Yeah.
So who knows with the Rays? They're really hard to predict, and I don't think I've ever been anywhere close with a prediction with the Tampa Bay Rays specifically. They're young again. I mean, they're actually, I think, maybe the oldest by average Rays team that has been in quite some time. Bunch of 30-year-old and 28, 29. The youngest bat we got here is Carson Williams, right? Young shortstop, rookie 2 years ago.
Yes.
They have a rather old pitching staff with Steven Matz and Nick Martinez. Um, Andrew Drew Rasmussen too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And still have Shane McClanahan.
But their pitching is like they've got a couple injuries to start the season off with too.
Yeah,
I mean you got
enough to probably sink them with how.
Wilson that's on the 60-day, and
Yeah, it's hard to confidently place the Rays. It really is.
yeah,
More so than any other team in the league, I think.
mm-hmm.
Always is.
Always is. So you have Tampa. So again,
In last.
In last. Okay. All right,
Toronto,
Lucas.
Boston, New York, Baltimore, Tampa.
All right, Lucas. What do you got?
Yeah, I got Toronto on top. I think a lot of momentum coming from last year. Yeah, they lose Bichette. I think that might be a little scary at times. Obviously, has led league in hits twice. I think 2 of the last 3 years. I mean, I think a full season of Savage, though he is starting on the IL. Yeah, I think they got a good core despite losing Bichette. Yankees, you're gonna be right there with them. I would not be surprised the Yankees won the division. I hate the Yankees, but Aaron Judge is inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Until it's postseason.
Yeah. They're just captain consistency. Like they're going to be right around 90 wins. Everyone will talk about how Aaron Boone's going to get fired, and then Aaron Boone won't get fired, and then they'll be right back at it the next season. Red Sox third, Orioles fourth, Rays fifth. Sox and Orioles, I can see them going either way. Yeah, I really liked the Orioles young core. A couple 2-3 years ago. I still love Gunnar Henderson, Kobe Mayo. Like they have some studs for sure. Disappointed to see Adley Rutschman kind of take a step back. But Samuel Vassallo, like he's Vassallo,
yeah.
Yeah. He's got some
Colton Cowser.
Colton Cowser. Yeah, Ryan Mountcastle. Like they got some power in the lineup for sure. And then the Rays, they're a hard team to place. They always kind of slide under the radar because they don't spend any money. Like they play in a dump of a stadium. Like
which is now because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Yep, they're back home.
Yeah, they're just kind of a weird franchise. I don't have much hope for them.
I'd only have hope if they moved them to Orlando and actually put money into them.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that. I mean, that could be a possibility. So
we're moving to Puerto Rico.
We could move them to Puerto Rico. By the way, Tampa over under is 77.5 wins.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I wouldn't put any money on the Rays.
Yeah.
Regardless.
In that division are projected the most at 90.5 wins.
Yeah, I'd go over.
Right around because Toronto's at 88.5.
Over.
Boston's at 87, and Baltimore is at 86.5.
I think 87 is probably smack on for the Red Sox. But
Andy, you got to be cranking the over on that, right?
I'm cranking the over on Baltimore for that one.
He's gonna say that he bet the over, but he actually bet the under.
Yeah. All right, so you know what? Do you want to go into the National League East, or do we want to go into the National Central?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's go to the Band-Aid. Let's go to the National League East because Lucas is wearing his Phillies cap right now on the podcast, of course, and we'll start with Logan. Logan, where do you see the National League East?
Oh man, let's try this again. This worked well last year. I'm gonna pick the Mets first again. I mean it this time. Bo Bichette's that good. Juan Soto is not going to start as slow as it did last year. They added Jorge Blanco too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The Mets have unlimited money, just as the Dodgers and the Yankees do. So it's about time they use it correctly. I think that this Mets team will be super competitive and pretty close record-wise to the Dodgers. That's my hot take there.
Ooh.
I have the Phillies in second. They retained a lot of talent. They did what they needed to. Uh, Somewhere in the low 90s for them, as long as they stay healthy.
Mhm.
And I mean, speaking of health, you said the Braves were healthy, but Strider's like big question mark, right?
The Braves have had so many injuries.
Mhm.
I mean, Strider, Schwellenbach. Uh, their
They
pitching has
lose
been
Ozuna.
decimated.
Zuna goes to the Pirates. The Braves are a big question mark because kind of, it's oddly enough, seems kind of like a rebuilding year for them, which just doesn't seem right with how good they were in the late 2010s and the early 2020s,
Well,
right?
and then Jurickson
Um,
Profar, he's suspended the whole season.
yeah, he's PEDs again,
Yeah.
which, like, what the hell, man?
Right.
Twice? Marlins, similar boat as Tampa. Who knows, man?
Mhm.
And then Nationals, right? So Nationals, I mean, they call up House. House was pretty good. Brady House,
Yeah.
not Dr. Gregory House. And James Wood, right, man? But, the Nationals have a good young core, and it's hard to get behind them because they hardly ever retain their young talent. So the Nationals could start off hot and then trade their players away, like James Wood or House, right?
They'll trade Abrams for sure.
I mean, they got rid of Mackenzie Gore earlier this offseason, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
That would be a tough franchise to root for, outside of the World Series they won after Harper left. Which I'm sure that stings, Lucas, but that is still one of the funnier championships where it's like, the Nationals did win a World Series.
They sold their soul basically to get
They
that.
did, and it worked
Until they re-signed Strasburg.
until they. Well, I mean, they spend money on Strasburg, who gets injured 3 times, and then did not spend money on Soto. Or, God, who else did they trade?
Rendon.
My blank.
They didn't sign him. They didn't re-sign him because he signed with
They
the
didn't
Angels.
re-sign Rendon. They let Harper walk. Traded Soto. Yeah, it's that would be Nationals, Rockies, and Angels right now are in like such a different realm than any other franchise in the sport, right? They're like in this weird purgatory where it just seems like they have been in this same spot for what the better part of like a decade now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's Phillies, Braves, Marlins, Nationals. Not much to say on the Marlins or Nationals.
Yeah. Well, for me, before we get to Lucas, for me, I'm sorry, Lucas, but I'm going to go with the Mets too. I think the Mets are very, very good this year. I think they're going to be good. Soto, I think Logan said, the acquisition.
Well, did we mention Nolan McLean?
We're going to have a Frankie Lindor that's going to be there. He's got to step up to the plate some more this season. And I just think, and they're set right now at 90 wins. It's what their over under is. The over under is at 90 wins for the Mets. I definitely think that's going to definitely be an over for them. I think maybe a 94, 95 win season for them this year. I have the Phillies in second. I think Philadelphia, very, very good. Can they get over the hump? Is my question. Can they continue the momentum that they have? They could. And they could honestly shake up a little bit of the playoff race, in my opinion, too. So I have Philadelphia at second. We talked about youth movement. I like the Miami Marlins in third.
Ooh.
I think that's one of my hot takes. They're set at 73.5, but I think the youth movement that they've got there is
their average age and their starting lineup is like 24 and a half years old.
That's what I was thinking. Their average. And these guys, they have nothing to play for. They've always been the down like the race. You don't know what you're going to look at, and they could always do damage when it comes to. Look at what happened with the Mets were last year. They had to go into Miami to, secure a playoff spot, and they got swept by the Marlins at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And the Marlins were playing for absolutely nothing. So I think the Marlins go to third. The injuries continue for Atlanta. I think they can go to fourth, and I have the Nationals finishing in fifth place. And the Nationals, by the way, over under for them is at 65.5.
That's tough.
I mean, it's
like
not
right
Colorado
on the number.
53.5, but 65.5 is pretty bad. So there I have it. Mets, Phillies, Marlins, Braves, Nationals. All right, Lucas, let me hear it.
Phillies are winning the division again. They're going to be 96 win team. Hammering the over on that 90.5. Mets in second. They signed Bichette. He's not going to be able to play third base. No, I mean the Mets. I mean the Mets are the Mets. Nolan McLean. I think he'll be. I mean he probably right there, rookie of the year. Competing with J.J. Weatherholt with in St. Louis, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean they're a good team. Soto, second year in New York. Frankie Lindor. They're a good team. I think what I learned last year is like a team can be really hot for a long time, and then you can kind of hit your peak, and then you show that you have some kinks in the armor. I mean, Phillies obviously their flaws came out in the postseason yet again last year, taking golf swings and chasing pitches and just not performing when it matters most. But the Mets, I mean, they kind of crashed and burned towards the end of the season. So, and obviously Steve Cohen wasn't happy, spent some money to prove that, like, you know what, no, we're going to... I was surprised they brought Mendoza back, honestly. I almost expected them to move on from him.
I thought so, too.
But, yeah, I mean, they're a good team. They'll be probably 92, 93 wins. So I got Mets in second, Braves in third, lots of injuries. Acuna, hopefully, I mean, just for his sake, hopefully a healthy year for him. Kind of right the ship. I hate the Braves. I don't like the Braves at all. But without Brian Snitker, like now that he's retired, so Walt Weiss taking over. I don't know. Walt Weiss. I think he was Snitker's bench coach, so kind of the same MO there. I think, but just lots of bad luck injuries they've had this offseason. So, still a great team. Matt Olson, Acuna. Drake Baldwin, last year's Rookie of the Year, but pitching kind of really took a hit. So Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris. I mean, they still have a great lineup. That's like the hard thing. Like they still have a lot of stud young players. Just the injury bug kind of got them early. Marlins fourth, Nationals fifth. Obviously, we already covered the Nationals. Marlins are a young team, Kyle Stowers. They got some great young talent. Interested to see what they end up doing with Sandy Alcantara. I was surprised they didn't trade him. They did trade Ryan Weathers to the Yankees. Still have Alcantara. Still have Yuri Perez. Still have Edward Cabrera. I think they still have all three of them. So
yeah, yes, they do.
Yeah, good young arms and.
Yeah,
they're kind of they're building for the future for sure. I think Peter Bendix, who's running the operation there, he's building a good young core. So,
yeah, absolutely, he is building an absolutely good core. So, all right, now we'll stay in the National League and we'll get into the National League Central. And for me, I'll lead. I think it's the Cubs division. I think it is the Cubs division. I mean, they're set at 89.5 wins this year. I think the Cubs get the job done. My take is this, and this is the hot take. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates get into the playoffs.
Oh,
come on.
Oh.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
How are they going to get in the playoffs, finishing second in the NL Central?
Get in as a wild.
Can you change the angle of the camera? What are you drinking over there?
I'm not drinking anything.
What
You know, I got the water right here.
What?
Okay.
Hold on.
You got Paul
How is that?
Skeens there. You got Skeens.
But Skeens is only going to play 30 games. I mean, like, is he going to win? If he wins every single one, right?
You're not going to win it. You got Gregory Soto. You've got problem there. I mean, you look at
Gregory Soto is just like a middle of the road relief pitcher.
I know. But you got Ornell Cruz in the outfield.
Yes.
You got Brian
Third
Reynolds. And I was surprised that they got Billy Cook that's going to be on the 40-man roster. And then you got Marcell Ozuna, who's your designated hitter this year. You got Gonzalez. I like Nick York. I think that if they can put it together and how that division is, I think you're gonna laugh. You're laughing, but I'm gonna tell you.
I mean, I get the Jake Magnum signing was good, Andy. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Who else do you see on here that's really good? I mean, this lineup is old.
Yeah, but
especially the core, right? Ryan O'Hearn, Marcell Ozuna, Brian Reynolds, Brandon Lowe. You're talking an average age of 33 years old there, right?
Right.
Does that really match a roster that's going to retain Paul Skeens?
No, but
this is their opening day roster. Position players: Joey Bart, just a guy; Billy Cook, O'Neill Cruz, Henry Davis, Nick Gonzalez, Spencer Horwitz, Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, Ryan O'Hearn, Marcell Ozuna, Brian Reynolds, Jared Triolo, and Nick York.
O'Neill Cruz is
I mean
above average.
Yeah.
I think they
everybody
get
else
a wild card spot. In my opinion. I think they get.
And what?
There's no way.
I see them as like the Reds from last year. They'll have the momentum. They'll get into the postseason, and they'll just fall apart in the first round.
Does a nuke take out like the western part of the NL Central here in this fantasy? It's like a two team division.
They also
with the Cubs and the Pirates.
Yeah, they take out the Padres. They're gonna
take out the Padres. Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you, like I see it. I think that Pittsburgh is, a lot of momentum building up, and it's not just because of the veteran roster that they got, and they got Paul Skeens, but the organization is taking some steps in the right direction.
Are they?
Well, they have to, and their farm system is pretty damn good down there in Indianapolis.
Sure. That's fair. That is fair. I don't see how that would translate into actual wins this year, though. Unfortunately,
but I don't see. I'm not saying you're going to call every Indianapolis Indian up. I'm just saying at the same time, I think that you put this veteran leadership that they have together. It's the same way as what the Reds were last year when they were putting veterans together, and they got into the postseason late, but they were eliminated in the first round. I think that's the same way with this Pirates team. I think the Pirates get in as the final wild card team.
Okay.
They get knocked out in the first round, and that's how I see it.
So naturally, you see your own team, the Reds. You see them like falling off from last year. Is that what we're leading into?
They're going to make the playoffs
Hunter
too.
Green is injured on the 60-day DL. That's a big loss to their rotation. That's a big loss to the rotation. Yes, you sign Eugenio Suarez, and you get your first. You don't have David Bell as the manager now. They haven't been right since they let Joey Votto walk. The ownership there is just an absolute atrocious. They're as bad as Marge Scott. I mean, it's bad. It's bad now in Cincinnati.
It seemed like they were like an hour away from getting Kyle Schwarber.
Logan, you're talking more positivity out of the Cincinnati Cyclones minor league hockey franchise than you're talking about the Reds baseball team. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I have, like I said, the Cubs, Pirates. I've got the Brewers in third, the Reds in fourth, and St. Louis in fifth.
Yeah, fair.
And St. Louis's schedule right now is set at 70.5 wins.
I think that's about right.
Used to be, a powerhouse back in when we were watching baseball at the beginning of our lifetimes. With Pujols, and you had McGuire and Yadier Molina and Rainwright, and now just to see this franchise just take the nosedive, I just can't believe it.
I think St. Louis is probably a year or two away from being good again. They have those two young catcher prospects, Jimmy Crooks and Leonardo Bernal. And I mean, they really have like an insane load of catchers coming up. A bunch of trade pieces. Blaze Jordan, right?
Yep.
Who else they got? Josh Cross.
They were very intentional about tearing it down and rebuilding.
Yep. If there's a team that I'd be concerned about rebuilding and getting back to winning, it would not be St. Louis. Yeah. That is a historic franchise that is rebuilt quickly. I think they're probably in the same boat as like Atlanta, where it's like they have talent and they have talent in the system, but it might be a ugly year to their standards.
Mm-hmm. Did you see they're doing the Cardinals are doing like the all you can eat this year? Like all you can eat, like hot dogs, popcorn, pop. Like
yeah, if the Tigers ever did that, I'd develop diabetes. It'd be a tough scene.
But like the ownership, like they're doing that because like they realize that they're rebuilding. Like
yeah.
By all accounts, it's a beautiful stadium, and I guess like there's like a whole, it's like a whole area like the Cardinals team. There's like a hotel and like restaurants, like all right there. Like
it's like
I really want to go visit there.
Like what Atlanta has done.
It's a beautiful stadium. Yeah, Busch Stadium's awesome.
Oh, you've been? Nice.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
That's awesome.
That setting with the arch in the background and the way that it's kind of snug right in the highway on the one end of it, and
nice.
It is one of the best out there.
That's cool.
It's one of the best fan bases too. Unfortunately, I mean, I really dislike the team, but 7-year-old me is still pretty upset about that. Against the Tigers way back when, but still holding a grudge.
Still holding the grudge.
20 years later, right?
You're right.
Well, it's like Guardians fans still hating Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which understandable.
Like, get over it.
But yeah, get over it. Kyle Schwarber's cool as hell. Anybody that's not a fan of Kyle Schwarber is a loser. Dude, is short. He's a short king, and he hit 60 home runs and batted leadoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. That's cool as hell, and there's no way around it. Anybody else is just denying
There's
reality.
nothing better than a leadoff Schwarbomb. Like, it's just...
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a player that hit, the hardest home run I have ever seen in my life, that game against San Diego, where it was just, that'll be a game that I tell my kids about, 10 years from now, where it's this guy right here who's, when these hypothetical kids are washing, he's going to be washed in his 40s. It's probably still playing him 20 a year like Victor Martinez. But this guy once hit a ball so quick that it just kind of disappeared off the screen. And then the StatCast thing came up and it was that ball went 496 feet at it's the craziest speed you have ever seen in a live baseball game.
It's incredible. It really is. And his game has aged so well. It's really surreal.
He's only gotten better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right. So that was my prediction for the Central. Lucas, your prediction for the National League Central.
Yeah, I think it's the Cubs division. PCA getting his new contract. I think he's a absolute superstar. Definitely a 30-30 type player. Perennial every year. Brewers second. I mean, they're always. I mean, you can try to knock them, but man, Pat Murphy, the culture there is awesome.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the pitching, like they lose Freddie Peralta, but you know they still have some studs. I love Brian Wu a lot. No, I'm sorry, Brian Wu is a Mariner. Who am I thinking of?
You know what will piss me off about them is if they somehow turn a Kill the Do into an actual player.
Yeah,
That would upset me greatly.
Yeah, Brewers second. Got the Reds third. I mean, yeah, the Hunter Green injury, that's brutal. But it's still Francona. You know, he just knows how to find a way to win a clubhouse over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see a big year from Matt McClain for sure. And Ellie, I keep waiting for Ellie to really take that next huge step.
I think he's fourth in MVP odds right now.
Yes.
To me, I wouldn't touch that just because we haven't seen it yet. You know, the talent is there, but he hasn't put all the pieces together. But yeah, Reds third, Pirates fourth, Cardinals fifth. Pirates, I think where the Pirates are going to be, it's going to be trade deadline, and all the talk is going to be if they're going to trade Skeens or not. So,
And who can realistically afford Skeens?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the double-edged sword. Do you trade him and get an absolute haul, or do you risk losing him for absolutely nothing?
Yeah, but you can't.
I mean, there are teams out there that would mortgage their entire future trading for Skeens, and I mean, he's 23 years old. It's insane. Yeah. How do you put a price on that? You know, how do you determine the value of?
You don't.
Yeah,
It'd be like the Browns trading Myles Garrett, right? You have somebody at the absolute top of their game. Except
I mean,
in
I
this
think the Browns
case,
should have already traded Myles Garrett.
I disagree with that, but I guess that's more comparable to age-wise to Scooble. They're about the same age.
Yeah.
Where it's somebody that's very clearly at the top of their game. I mean, the parallels there are much more similar. This is like Juan Soto, but then somehow better than that. Because you're talking a top 5 player in the game. It's really
there's no
unprecedented.
comp. I really don't think there's a comp. Just
he's going to be due. I mean, $500 million wherever he goes to, if not more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a big behind-the-scenes storyline this year, right? Is okay, so does Skeens get traded? Do the Tigers re-sign Scooble? And if not, what does Scooble's trade value stand at because he's on an expiring contract?
Right.
So those are two big storylines that'll be going on throughout the entire year. I think how those two franchises do is going to determine how that ends up. Tigers make a run, Scooble's going to be re-signed no matter what, I would think. I think evidently, I think it is without a doubt the Pirates will find themselves in a spot where they need to trade Skeens. So matter of when, if not if.
But when?
Ooh, here's an interesting tidbit. According to a report by The Athletic, so David Blitzer, who bought a minority share of the Guardians a couple years ago, he has a 35% stake. He has the option to become majority owner after the 2027 season. Interesting. I mean, he owns the Devils and the 76ers, so.
That'd be big.
I mean,
Logan, who do you have in National League Central?
National League Central, I had the Cubs. Man, they got Alex Bregman on top of having Peter Crow Armstrong. So PCA, man, I could see a dark horse MVP candidacy for him too. I think he's that good. I think he's going to be that good for years to come. They found their franchise cornerstone there in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exciting. That's a franchise that when the Cubs are good, it's good for baseball, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
the Brewers, I agree with Lucas. They're going to find a way. I know they have some rotation injuries right now, and that they're not fully healthy, but I think they find a way to get in the mid 80s and make a wild card push. I also see the Reds kind of in that same area. I know that with Green hurt, that's not good. Um, they have intriguing rookie with Sal Stewart, right? We got to see a little bit of him last year.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of young talent on that team. LED La Cruz like we're saying, does he make the next step to that MVP caliber that seems to be the popular opinion that he will? Just a matter of when, right?
Right.
But Eugenio Suarez coming back to the Reds is good. That's a good veteran bat to have in there. Makes me feel old saying that he's a veteran bat. Um, other than that, I mean, I said the Pirates and the Cards are going to be in the cellar. Uh, like we're saying about the Cardinals, they do it the right way. It's not going to be forever. Maybe a year or two, and they're going to be back towards the top of the division, competing with the Cubs. The Pirates, this is really they find themselves in an interesting position, really an interesting predicament, because I mean they have one of the best players that has ever played the game, right? I think it's safe to say that already, and I think it's also alarming that we've been in a position where we can say that now, like multiple years in a row, right? So like Otani, it was like, okay, he's the chosen one. Uh, you could say the same maybe with Bryce Harper, right? With these people that have like these such lofty expectations and then actually live up to them has happened on such an insane pace recently. I've never seen it in any other sport. Because you got Skeens, Skubal, Otani, and then the chosen one, Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. Like that string of players that were hyped up to be something and then lived up to that and exceeded that is insane. But the Pirates need to win. They need to win now in order to
Say
somehow keep Skeens. I mean, I don't think there's a reality where Skeens stays in Pittsburgh unless they were to like go on some magical run, like Andy's saying. But I see Cubs, Braves, Reds, not Braves, Brewers. Cubs, Brewers, Reds, Pirates, Cardinals. With
okay.
the Pirates and the Cardinals being pretty close, but in the cellar.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, then that leads us to one final division, which is the American League Central Division, which is what everybody probably has been waiting for and wanting to watch and listen to. So there's that, and it's a big division. This is going to be an interesting year for the division, with it being the what the Tigers did last year and what with the rotation that they have, the offense that they have, and you also have Kansas City, who has probably one of the best hitters in Bobby Witt Jr. And then you have the Guardians, who have re-signed Jose Ramirez to a long-term deal, and then you've got the newcomer in Chicago, the highly touted power hitter Murata, that will be interesting. And then you have Minnesota, that's just absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. So for me, you know what? I'll have Lucas go first, because Lucas, you're the one, you live in Cleveland and you see the Guardians, and I will let you pick out on the American League Central when you're ready.
All right. Tigers winning the division. I think, yeah, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys. I think McGonagall, adding him is huge. Scooble is going to be Scooble. It's, good young core. We talked about earlier, like how they're bringing all these guys up like the right way through the system. Good club, a lot of good energy. I'm Royals and Guardians. I mean, honestly, like it's gonna be. I feel like every year this division is like such a tight race. I think these top three kind of really set themselves apart from the Twins and White Sox. But right now, I have Royals second, Guardians third, but I can easily see that flip-flopping. The Guardians, I really want to see more. I expect them to trade Quan this offseason. I was surprised they didn't.
Yeah.
Jose, Quan, I mean, Chase DeLauder, going to get a full season of Chase DeLauder. Hopefully he can stay healthy. My man Rhys Hoskins hitting cleanup. Love that. I think, I think he can really add some much needed power to the lineup. Travis Bazzana, at some point he'll be up. He's starting in AAA. Can only imagine how they're. I mean, they could have Nick Kurtz right now. They could have Connor Griffin. So Bazzana better be something. But
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, their pitching factory bullpen will be great again. Of course, now without Clase, that'll be kind of interesting how that works out. But Gavin Williams, top of the rotation, like they're great arms. Of course, they always have them. Great at developing pitchers. But the Royals, like that Bobby Witt Jr. factor, like I'm so in love with him as a player, like just an absolute stud. Full year of Jack Caglione. You got Sasquatch, Pasquantino, Vinny Pasquantino, Pasquatch. Cole Reagans, I mean, hopefully he can stay healthy. He's, Cy Young caliber arm. He battled some injuries last year. But, yeah, I think Royals and Guardians kind of be right there with the Tigers. I think it'll be a pretty tight race again. And then the Twins, they don't seem to be playing for much. Moved on from Rocco Baldelli. Brought in former Pirates manager, right? Drawing a blank on his name. Their manager.
Pulling it up.
Derek Shelton.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then the White Sox. I mean, they're the White Sox. They signed Murakami, but
Which was shocking, yeah.
And they traded Luis Robert to the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Logan, do you want to go for the American League Central? I think I know where you're.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know where I'm heading. Yeah, I know that I probably have made the Tigers winning the division the last 3 years, but this year I think makes the most sense. It is hard still because I still in the back of my mind think Cleveland probably finds a way to win somehow because that's just how it has been. That's what logic would tell me, but this Tigers team I think will get off to a quick start again and carry it on and hopefully not have that dreadful August into September where they sky was falling. But this Tigers team is loaded like one of the early 2010s teams. The signing of Framber Valdez was huge. It gives you one of the best 1-2 punches in baseball with Scooble and Valdez. You add in Verlander, who, despite being 43, has still got some juice.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Mize. And, having Verlander for 1 year does ease the blow of not having Reese Olson. Will Vest looked really impressive during the WBC. You have a very strong bullpen again. You answered the shortstop question with bringing McGonigal up. I like the idea of playing him at third, too. I actually think they'll probably start with playing him at third.
I think that's where they're leading with for him.
Which I think, unfortunately, puts Kerry Carpenter actually playing the outfield, in which he's not actually a good fielder. That's a concern of mine because I think
And he can't
the way that the Tigers
hit lefties either.
He actually was not horrible down the stretch when they were letting him. They just famously have not let him. I don't know why. Like, at some point, you're going to have to expose him to it.
Yeah. I'm playing as the Tigers,
yeah.
and it would be the show right now, and actually hit a homer with Carpenter off a lefty a couple days ago. So it can happen.
It can, and it will. Like, they just need to give him the chance to get up there against lefties. It's ridiculous.
He's got a weird swing.
Yeah. But when he makes contact, it is this thing of beauty. He can really smash. But this lineup's just the best that it's. I mean, outside of the weak spot of, I would say, Parker Meadows, at least bat wise, I'd like to see them put Veerling in the starting lineup and put Meadows off the bench, and put Javi at center field, because that was actually a pretty successful experiment last year. I mean, the real question is, like, if they get the Javi Baez that showed up at the second portion of last year, this team could be like high 90s in terms of wins. And if McGonigal lives up to the hype around him, a few factors there. Spencer Torkelson being consistent again. Riley Green not swinging at everything would probably help. He had like pretty awful stretch down up until the playoffs where he was just swinging at absolutely everything. I mean, I think he led the league in strikeouts, did he not?
I think so, yes.
He strikes out a shit ton. That needs to be fixed. And no, the pitching is great for Detroit this year, and this is the best lineup they've had since 2012. It is.
We haven't even mentioned
exciting.
Verlander.
Yeah, Verlander at the 4. I think is what they have him projected as right now.
I love it.
Yes.
I love that, honestly. Like,
yeah, that was
homecoming.
Very special. That makes child me, who grew up with Verlander as a very young ace, very happy to see him come back and to still live close enough to where I can go see Verlander pitch a few times this year. It's a full circle, very special thing for Tigers fans.
Riley Green, 201 strikeouts last year. Average
it was too many.
58. He had 600 at bats last year.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Although he has more power than anybody was ever going to give him the opportunity to have, right? Nobody thought he would be a 36 home run hitter.
Right.
So, I mean, for as much as he struck out, he did hit a lot of bombs last year. 3 WAR. I'd expect that to be higher this year. I expect him to hit 260, 270, somewhere in there. Be a little bit more consistent, not strike out as much. But I could talk about the Tigers all night. Very excited about where this is heading. I will be interested to see if we see Max Clark at some point, because it would have to feel I would have to think Parker Meadows is on a pretty short leash. He has not lived up to what we thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of being he's a great defensive player, but he has got to find out how to swing.
Yes.
If he can't bat above like flat Mendoza line, then it should go to Max Clark as soon as Max Clark's ready, or Veerling full time.
Right.
That is my only glaring weakness, is who is the third outfielder. Because like I'm saying, Kerry Carpenter can't field for shit. That scares me to have him as a consistent outfielder. He has DH written all over him.
Mm-hmm.
So just find a consistent third outfielder, whether that be Jones, whether that be Veerling, and whether that be Meadows. But find that consistency, or Baez.
Yeah.
And then there is not many holes, so long as they don't have the injury bug that they've also been suffering from what seems like every August and September
Mm-hmm.
heading into the playoffs. I have the Royals at a close second. I think it'll be closer than it probably should be. The Royals rotation is strong. Let's see, they have Reagans, Waka, Lugo, Bubik, and Noah Cameron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Young guy. And that lineup's pretty scary too. Caglione, Salvi in his twilight years, but is still hitting like a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Hit 30 home runs last year, right?
Yeah.
And he's still slugging in the mid 400s. He is the like textbook picture of consistency and excellence. Actually, I mean, we're watching the twilight years of a Hall of Fame player. I would love for him to have another playoff run, get a chance to get a second ring. But then you have the guards who are going to be in it regardless of if the roster is telling you that, right? Cleveland finds a way every year, it seems. I'm with Lucas. I'm surprised they didn't trade Quan. I'm happy that they kept him. I think Quan is kind of a corner, not like your typical like blueprint for being a cornerstone franchise player, but he definitely is. Especially now with Class A, being in jail or adjacent to jail. They got young players, Chase DeLauder, and then they have like it really is a question of how quick. How do you pronounce it? Bazana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Travis Bazzana.
Bazana.
Yeah.
It's a question of how quick he gets up there. I'm a little surprised they didn't start with him on the opening day roster. They have a pretty loaded infield in their farm system coming up. You have Angel Gano, Messick.
Like a full year of CJ Kafis. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ralphie Velasquez. Schobart, right? He's like a tool guy.
Mm-hmm.
There is some, and then they have Nolan Jones chilling down in the minor leagues, right?
Yeah, they just optioned him down.
Yeah, so that's interesting. They got some interesting pieces. I mean, Cleveland's going to be competitive, I would think.
I think Stephen Vogt is such a great manager.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets the best out of his guys.
He really does.
Really takes out of Tito's footsteps, really.
Mm-hmm.
They moved from one great manager to another here. So Vogt's going to keep Cleveland in it year in and year out. The roster doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as the Royals or the Tigers, but, I mean, that's looking at it on paper, and we know consistency is Cleveland's MO, at least in baseball. And they're going to be in September in the run for the playoffs. They'll be a wild card, most likely, but they'll be in the run for it. And then, you got the Twins and the White Sox, which are adjacent to the purgatory that the Nationals and the Angels are in, and the Rockies. The Twins just, like, that organization right now is kind of a mess. It's not in the best spot. And the White Sox are the White Sox, right? So the White Sox, they go out and they sign Murakami, which was a surprise. They have a very young roster outside of Andrew Benintendi and Austin Hayes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a few years we'll probably be looking at this a little bit differently, and they'll be competitive. But as of now, it's going to be more of what we've seen the last few years from the White Sox. They'll be in the hole, and they'll be out of it pretty, probably by mid-May, right?
Yeah.
Is how it's been in last. I mean, the last few
End of
years it
April.
has been. Yeah, where it's like they're already 10 games back by the end of April, like they were last year. That's miserable, but I think that's reality for the White Sox. Probably like 60 to 65 wins, something terrible.
67.5 is their over under.
Yeah, that's about right. I'd go under, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how I see it. To the surprise of no one, I think the Tigers will win
Okay.
that division.
Hey, perfect.
What does your cousin Nick think of his White Sox this year?
Oh, Nick is
Is he a Cubs fan yet?
no, not yet. Not yet. My cousin Nick, huge White Sox guy, and he told
Somebody's
me
got
the
to
other
be.
he's already got the old style ready to go because he's going to be drinking away this season away because it's bad. He says until Reinsdorf sells that franchise, it's not going to make any moves. He still owns that franchise. He still owns them. So when he goes, then maybe the organization will do well. That's what he told me. So. That's what he told me, so, that's a bad thing. So, yeah, you are watching and listening to a special edition of All Andy Alfred, the 2026 MLB preview edition right here on the All Andy Alfred Podcast Network. All right, gentlemen, it is that time. Who's going to be playing for the Commissioner's Trophy when we come down to November? And, I'm going to start first and foremost with Logan. Logan, your prediction for the World Series and who's going to be lifting the trophy.
Ooh, all right. Dodgers in the NL. Bennett. The AL is intriguing, right? So I think you'll have so the Blue Jays. If I follow my own logic here, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Tigers, Athletics, Mariners, Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that would be the playoffs.
Yeah.
In which case, I think the Tigers make the AL championship this year, and probably against the Blue Jays. And I am going to, despite what my heart tells me, play it safe and say Blue Jays rematch against the Dodgers.
Okay.
And because everything stinks, I'm going to pick the Dodgers to win 3 straight.
Oh, jeez.
Which
Oh
is bad for the sport. It's horrible for the sport, but I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I think it goes 7 again. I think this would be at home for the Dodgers, and they win it.
Yeah.
Dodgers are too talented. I don't really. If anybody has a chance in 7 games against them, it's probably the Blue Jays.
Okay.
And I think the Mets take them for all they're worth too, and probably in the NL championship. So you can write me down for Dodgers, Mets, and Tigers, Blue Jays.
Okay. So you have Dodgers,
Tigers,
Mets.
Blue Jays would be an electric AL championship with how close those teams are. And Mets, Dodgers has happened plenty of times, and would be fun to watch again.
You said you had.
Unfortunately,
You have Detroit and Toronto. Is that what you're looking at? Is the team?
Yes.
Okay.
In the AL championship, and then I have the Mets and the Dodgers.
Okay.
With Dodgers taking it in 7 games against Toronto.
Okay.
I don't want to say it,
But you have to say it.
but I had to say it.
Okay. Lucas, you're up.
Okay. My educated guess tells me we're going to see a repeat of the 2009 World Series, the New York Yankees and the Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
I can't quit. It's like a bad drug. I can't quit it. This team. Just got to put it all together.
Okay.
I think it's going to come down. I think the Phillies and Dodgers are going to meet again in the NLCS, and I mean, at some point, luck has got to fall on the Phillies side one of these playoff series.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, what I'm asking for, I'm not asking for Schwarber to hit 60 home runs. I'm asking for him to hit 45, drive in $120. I'm asking for Harper to stay healthy and, give me 35 bombs, 30, 35, all right. Adolis Garcia, I mean, a hope and a prayer. I mean, he's a far better outfielder than Castellanos ever was. Can the changes that they're they're making to his swing, can they take, and will he, bounce back after a couple of down years in Texas?
Being a strikeout king.
Yeah. I mean, Alec Boehm, I mean, it was last year before free agency. Are you going to do something? I mean, honestly, he had a great regular season. He started off, he had some hot streaks, but he's not a natural cleanup hitter, and I hate that Topper keeps batting him fourth. But I mean, we're going to see Justin Crawford. I mean, the youth. I mean, you're going to have some youth. Justin Crawford make a opening day roster, starting center fielder, batting ninth. Some speed at the bottom of the lineup. I think if you get him and Turner on base at the same time, that can kind of wreak some havoc. Got some speed. Andrew Painter finally making his debut. He'll be our fifth guy in the rotation. I think with massive upside. Obviously, Zach Wheeler coming back far quicker than I ever expected him to. He should be back towards the end of April. Christopher Sanchez, I think his evolution, his career arc, going from a project in the Rays organization to now being a Cy Young contender, arguably a top 5 pitcher in baseball.
Okay.
And then Jesus Luzardo, re-signing Zeus as well, huge, just absolutely huge. So they have a lot of great pitching depth. Some youth coming up. Aiden Miller make his debut at some point later this season, maybe after the trade deadline or before. But really, I think that it's a veteran team. They're all, the cores, they're in their 30s now, and you just got to wake up. And they're not making any drastic moves. I thought Adam Gachet would have been a huge jolt. Okay, we're gonna change something up, So they kind of made some perimeter moves, around the edges, bringing in Adolis Garcia. But we shall see. But I believe in them. I still do, and just got to turn it around. And they're not afraid of the Dodgers. They've proven that. They'll go toe to toe with them, and I mean, outside of a fluke, boneheaded, in the moment, crazy, chaotic decision by Orion Kerkering. I mean, I don't know, but at the same time, they won 2 playoff games the last 2 years, so maybe it's just wishful thinking at this point, but gotta believe this team is gonna get over that hump. But the American League is kind of open. I mean, Blue Jays, Yankees, I think they'll be right there. Tigers, obviously, and then whoever comes out of the West, probably the Mariners. The American League seems a little more wide open.
Okay.
I think the National League, it's going to come down to the Mets, Dodgers. The Cubs, I love the Cubs. I don't know if I trust them in the playoffs yet, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't trust them. I don't. That's just me. I don't trust them.
Andy,
So.
what do you got?
All right. Well, I have for the American League Championship. I think we're going to get a rematch of a great series from last year. I think the Tigers get to the American League Championship Series, and I think they played the Seattle Mariners. I think that series last year proved that those two teams were fighting tooth and nail, and of course the heartbreak that we had in Detroit with it. I just didn't. I couldn't. I could. I think Detroit is taking the right steps in the right direction, but I think Seattle's right there. So I have the Mariners beating the Tigers in the American League Championship Series. It pains me to say that, but then you get into but you go into the other side in the senior circuit. I think time and age is going to catch up to the Dodgers, and I think playing so long, 2 consecutive seasons of playing so late into the season, I think it's going to catch up to them in this year's playoff run. I mean, because I know it's a sprint. It's a marathon of a game, but playing so long and playing running yourself down so much, I think the Dodgers will play the Mets in the National League Championship Series, and I have the Mets beating the Dodgers. 7 games.
You couldn't help yourself to do it again.
What?
To pick the Mets again?
Yeah, I have the Mets.
I'm
beating
leaving the call. I'll talk to you guys.
He did it again.
I have the Mets playing the Dodgers for the National League Championship, and I have the Mets beating the Dodgers in 7. Which said Mariners, Mets. I think it's going to be a great World Series, and I think the Seattle Mariners get their first ever championship.
I was gonna say, if you pick the Mets again, I'm just gonna call you
I'm not picking.
I'm gonna
the
call
Mets.
you a bandwagon Mets fan.
They get it's going to be another Kansas City situation for them. They get their hearts set up and they're close to it. But I think what I saw last year with the playoffs with Seattle and how they played them during the regular season, the series against Detroit, series against Toronto, they fit perfectly together. They are one of those teams that you could probably now pencil them in for the next 2 or 3 years, especially now in that division. And I have the Mariners winning and getting the first ever championship. I think that's where it's going to lie. I think Seattle over the Mets. I think that they'll take them in 6 games. Winning it probably winning it in. That would set up. That would probably be, because they're the higher seed, that would be a win at Citi Field in New York. So it would be a setup again of like Kansas City did when they beat the Mets. So there's that. Oof. All right, and I got to throw this out here right now. I think my rookie of the year this year is Kevin McGonigal.
No shit.
I think
all 3 of us.
No fucking kidding.
I think all 3 of us are going there.
I think that's
absolutely where I'm going.
The question is, who do you have for the National League?
McLean.
I have JJ Weatherholt.
I have Bryce Eldridge. I think Bryce has got a good shot to do it.
Actually, I take back McLean. I'm taking South Stewart.
Okay. South Stewart. Okay. And we all are in agreement on McGonigal on that round. Okay. All right.
Let's do Cy Young. I bet that'll be different from last year.
MVP wise, then. Lucas?
I honestly I almost I can't let myself do Shohei and Judge, but it's going to be Shohei.
Unless it's Skeens.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, last year, I feel like Schwarber could have hit 70 home runs, and they still would have given the MVP to Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
He didn't even pitch. He
right.
No.
So it's so skewed, I feel. I did jot down originally. I jotted down Ronald Acuna Jr. just because I think if he's healthy a full year, like I think with the injuries the bad luck injuries they've had this offseason, like if he could just I hate the Braves, but if he could just put the team on his back,
Yeah.
like I
If he could do a 40 for 40 season, he could definitely be in the candidate to be.
yeah, I mean I think he's such a great player, and so I'll go Cunha. I mean, yeah. As much as I love Schwarber, I don't think he's going 60 again. I would love it. Maybe he will, but I don't. Even if he does that, I don't think that's enough to overcome Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, no way.
So
Okay.
Unfortunately, you're right. He would have to go 70. I mean,
and he still wouldn't get
he'd
it.
have to have literally the best season,
Yeah,
best home run season ever, and he probably wouldn't even get it.
yeah. So
All right, Logan, who do you have for your MVP?
Yeah, so in L, I have Shohei Ohtani, surprise of no one. I do think your usual suspects will also be in the running. Juan Soto, I think, bounces back and is back to being Juan Soto. I think Fernando Tatis is going to have to be exceptional for the Padres to be in it, and he is, right. He looked really good in the WBC. Why not Skeens too, right? If Skeens is that good again this year, why not consider a pitcher for MVP?
Okay.
So, I mean, Ohtani obviously is the answer.
Yeah.
I'm doubling down from last year on the AL MVP. I'm going to say Bobby Witt Jr. again.
yeah,
Okay.
same here.
I think Bobby Witt Jr., again, watching the World Baseball Classic, making just not even just with his bat, man. There was 2 plays in the same inning where he just made that holy shit type play. And he does that frequently. That's just who he is as a defender. And that's not even talking about his bat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's filthy.
Exceptional. He is everything that they said he was. And I didn't include him earlier when I was saying these chosen ones, right? He's another one of that archetype, right? Where it's everybody, when he was coming up in the farm system, oh yeah, this is the next dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy's living up to that and then some.
Yep. And I don't even know what his
he's
voice sounds like. He's
No, he stays quiet. He is just, he's in a smaller market, and I think he'll probably actually stay in that smaller market, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And, also, back to the Royals. Don't look now. They're building a very, very good team.
Yeah.
Who's going to be competing for championships here shortly. But yeah, it would be too easy to say Aaron Judge. I'm going to say Bobby Witt Jr. And then just for the shit and just for the hell of it, Nick Kurtz. Why not? Dark horse, 3rd or 4th place.
Okay. All right. Me, MVP wise, National League, I think. I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I think Ellie De La Cruz is gonna be the guy. Watch and see. Watch and see.
the team
him
that's
get,
finishing 4th in their division. At least.
but he could be the standout in that whole team this year. He has the capability of 40 home
When's
runs.
the last time a guy has finished on a 4th place team and won MVP?
Well, I don't know.
Probably never. Safely saying never.
Yeah. Saying never. But I think he has an opportunity to do some make a stand. That's the homer in me pick. But for me, really, in all reality, I have Juan Soto. I think Soto.
Okay.
He's been a candidate year after year after year. I think with him stepping up to the plate, I think he could do something, especially if the Mets are going to be what the Mets are. And for me, in the American League, it's Julio Rodriguez.
Ooh.
You look at the veteran presence that he's got, and he's had a career best season for the last 2 or 3 years. I think he takes a step forward, especially if he's going to help this Mariner team get to winning a World Series. I think he could step up to the plate, and
I'm surprised he didn't go Gregory Soto.
Gregory.
Okay, if I had a dark horse, Logan stole mine. Nick Kurtz is a good young player that could make a projection. I think he can make a name, but I think Julio Rodriguez from the Mariners is I think my
Not
MVP.
not Roman Anthony.
No,
I thought for sure that's where you were going if you were following the lead from your NL picks.
no, no. But
First time ever that the
I'm
MVPs
going
come
to
from fourth place
surprise
teams.
Lucas here. I'm going to surprise Lucas here. My Cy Young, of course, is going to be Terrence Skubal for the American League. That's plain and simple. I think he's going to win the Cy Young. But for the National League, I have Christoph Sanchez from the Phillies.
Christoph, Sir Christoph.
Yeah, you look at what he did last. Look what he did last year. He was 13-5 last year. He's got a 2.50 ERA. His WHIP is a 1.06.
8 wins above replacement.
8 wins above replacement. Yes.
Which is very good for all of us at home.
Yes. And then if he had a great year last year. His career numbers are really good.
He is a stud.
He's a stud. I think if Philadelphia could, if for Lucas's sake, for Philadelphia, he could be a really, really, really good piece, and I think he could win the Cy Young of the National League.
Yeah, he's my pick. I, as you guys know, I've been all over Zach Wheeler, Cy Young, the last 3 seasons, and I still say that he's gotten screwed. He should have won it 2 years ago. Chris Sale should not have won that Cy Young, but I digress.
No, I agree on that.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
But I mean Sanchez. I mean he's so deserving. Like just his career arc, what Caleb Cotham and company have turned him into. Like, just it. Yeah, he's a stud. I'm so excited for him, and yeah, he's my pick.
All right. Okay. Okay,
Logan,
perfect.
who'd you go for Cy Young in the NL?
Cy Young, yeah. Logan.
Copy and paste from last year.
Skeens. Yeah. Okay.
Skeens
Okay.
and Skubal in the AL.
Skeens and Skubal for Logan.
Those are the best 2 pitchers in the game, no matter how you slice it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're in their own echelon.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk about Skubal all day. He carried on into the postseason with the same success. Looked good in the one WBC start. He's on a different planet, especially when, he talk about just like a scary persona of a baseball player, right? He like hits a different gear where it's like you don't even want to, you wouldn't even want to get in his way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he is nasty, and Skeens is the same way, a lot more cool and collected. Same monster, different beast. Those 2, I think, repeat. And I think it's just until somebody stops him. Like, there's Skubal's probably got 3 or 4 more years where he's at his prime like this, and Skeens is 23. Right? Like,
Right.
Skeens could win 10 in his, if, bearing, God forbid, any, shoulder injuries, which you got to watch out for, Tommy John, what have you. Bearing any of that, like, Skeens could win 10 Cy Youngs in his career, right? Like, and anybody else that would be like, that's ridiculous. But I think that that's fair. He's 23 years old. He's already on that trajectory.
Right. Right. Perfect. All right. So we've got everything written down here. Anything else you guys want to add on to this?
I hope I'm wrong about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Score update. It is 7-0 Yankees. Top 6.
Jesus.
Yeah, gross.
Gross. All right. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it up here, boys. Lucas, where can we find all your information and stuff like that? Where can fans find your stuff?
Yeah, I'm Old Man Siggy on Instagram and Twitter, though I don't really use Twitter super often anymore. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And Logan, where anybody can find all your stuff?
I mean, I'm the same way. I've kind of gone ghost mode on the social media, but
All right.
find me on the wild streets of Toledo, Ohio.
You can find me at all Andy Alfred. Send all your hate mail to all Andy
True.
Alfred. Send all your hate mail to was it Clayfan23 or whatever?
CBJ fan, something or other. What can I say before we leave here? I hope the Blue Jackets lose their last 10 games.
Look, hold on a second. Whoa.
Oh, sorry, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Andy. I can't hear you.
Whoa. The only team in the NHL that's been leaking more oil is your boys.
Yeah. Whatever. We're missing our star player until last game.
All I have to say, brother, is April 7th, brother. April 7th.
I don't care.
You care then.
No, I do care, but like my heart's already been ripped out, so I care a little less.
Yeah, you got stomped on by the Ottawa Senators, who you absolutely
We
hate.
lost 3-2 and got screwed on a play on an offsides call.
You were down 3-0.
And came back. We were up 1-0. They took that off. You're conveniently leaving that out, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
Got some Blue Jacket colored glasses.
How'd that Boston game go for you on national?
Yep, that didn't go well either. What would you know about national television, Andy? You're having your best year in years, and they don't show the Blue Jackets. You wouldn't even know they exist.
Oh, they exist, brother. They exist.
The Red Wings have 4 more primetime games left.
Last night. We had Steve
Your
Lee.
team makes no money. Your team makes zero money and zero national intrigue, Andy.
They're on spitting chicklets all the goddamn time.
Sure.
The Avs are the only team to have eclipsed 100 points thus far this season.
Well,
Yeah.
Lucas, we all know about the Avalanche. Okay,
We know
bro?
what the Avalanche are. We're having our own little fight in the 80-point range over here.
We're back here like, and you're just looking down at us on the mountain like, what are you guys talking about? And we're just both looking at you going like this. You off like we're battling down here.
Well, I hate Dodgers and Yankees fans, but if I was them, I would be like, hey, 11 Stanley Cups to year 0. So
Okay.
there's that, Andy.
Okay.
I get it. Like in that sense, I get it, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
We got Montreal tomorrow night.
Yeah. Hopefully, is in both of our best interest that you win that game.
Yeah. You got to be a Jacket fan to root for that one. You'll be rooting for the Jacket because you got to go to you got to go to Buffalo on Friday, brother.
Yeah, don't like that.
They're terrible.
Buffalo's been on fire.
Yep, they're on fire.
The Sabres have not been losing. It's insane.
Yeah.
But back to baseball. Tomorrow, Scooble.
Knocked out in the first round by the Utah Mammoth, and then we'll be saying, "Whoa, welcome to the club."
Yeah, look at all this egg on our face.
Yeah, looking at they'll be playing Winnipeg in the first round, and it'll get swept 4-0. Be sitting in the white wave, and I'll be looking at Lucas and like. It's like, welcome to the club. We're out in the first round. It's like all 3 of us are out in the first round.
Well, you got to make it to the first round first.
We got to make the playoffs first.
You got to make it first. Yeah. At last check, we were at 88% to make the playoffs.
Yeah. The Red Wings aren't making the playoffs. I know what's going on.
You're at 40%.
It's been the same thing. And falling. I mean, it'll be down to 20 by Friday. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, you just took the slide.
It's okay because the Detroit Tigers are winning the World Series despite anything I said in this podcast.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining, coming on the air. We'll have you guys again next year again, and I'll be making light of all these predictions. Which have been all
you'll pick the Mets for a 3rd year in a row.
Yeah. That's for the 3rd year in a row.
What about you, Mets hat, Andy?
Surely this is the year.
Surely.
I'm gonna definitely hit that over on the Sacramento A's at that 75.
They're not the Sacramento A's. They're just the
They're the
Athletics.
Sacramento A's for the
They
next
are
2 years,
the
and then they'll be the
Athletics.
Vegas A's.
The Athletics.
They're the Sacramento A's.
Athletics.
Where do they play at? They play in Sacramento. They're the
They
Sacramento.
play as the Athletics.
All right, fine.
Don't ask any questions about where they are.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks,
All
Logan.
right.
Nice chat with you guys.
All right. Thanks.
See you guys.